Hi everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Inspired Moments with Jumoke. In today's episode, I'll be showing you how to make this off-shoulder circle dress. It's very easy to make. It's off-shoulder and it's a full circle dress. So without wasting time, let's get started. So the dress is a 360-degree dress, and because of the fact that my fabric is not, the length of the width of the fabric is not long enough for me to fold it as a full circle, I'm going to cut two 180 degrees to make the complete circle. So 180 for the front, 180 for the back, so there will be a side seam. Okay, if you have, by some chance, you have a fabric that is long enough to fold it into four for your what's it called, for the full circle, please go ahead and fold it into four like you would fold for a circle. But now I folded into two, like I want to draft 180 degrees circle, or if it's 180 it's not circle. All right, so I folded it into two and I have two pieces, so this is almost 4 yards of fabric. It's going to consume a lot, and if you don't want it that full, you can make the whole thing 180, or you can make it 270. So but for this particular class, we're making it 360. Okay, so this is a folded edge here, and I'm cutting the two 180 together. So from this edge, let me place my fabric very well so that you can see. From this edge is where I'll start measuring. Okay, now I want the length of the dress to be 39 inches, and for the off shoulder I want to come down by 5 inches. Okay, I've shifted the fabric so that you can see the edge here is important. Okay, so from this point now, which is the top of the dress, I'm going to come down by 5 inches for the off shoulder. If you don't want it too off, you can do 4 inches. If you want it to be falling off your shoulder, you can go 6, 7. Okay, but 5 is okay. I'm going to do 5, place my tape at 5 and take it down to 39. Sorry, you may not be able to see it, but well, it's just take it all the way to 39 here. I'm going to mark it, then I'll hold it down at that 5 and then begin to turn it. If you've done anything circle before, you should be familiar with this method. This is how we draft our circles. From the pivot point, we'll begin to measure our length. So I'm going to go all the way around, gradually forming my circle, marking my 39 inches all around. Okay, so at this edge also, I'm going to come 39 inches. Okay, which is that's the length of the fabric. So let me straighten it again and do the remaining parts. Okay, so we're going to go all the way. So we have a circle like that. This is going to be the center front. This part, which is on fold, is going to be the center front and the center back. And this side here, which is opened, is going to be our side seam. So on that side seam is where we're going to draw our armhole. But before we do that, let's draw the neckline. Now, I'm just going to draw another circle here. So it depends on how wide you want the neckline to be. Don't forget that we'll be using our stretch fabric to gather it. So we really don't have to worry about it being too wide. Although don't make it too wide such that you have a lot to gather. So I'm just going to do, if I do 4 inches, that will be like okay, we can calculate it so that we just don't do guesswork. We'll calculate it by calculating the normal circle. Okay, this place is going to be around the around the shoulder, the off shoulder area, once you measure it. So maybe it's like 36 inches. We can divide it by 6.24. So let's calculate that. Pardon me, must divided by 6.25. That's how you calculate for circle. So it's like 5 3/4. But because I want to gather it a bit, I'm just going to do 6 inches, and I'm not going to add seam. So I'm just going to cut that 6 inches directly. So we're checking it all around, just like we did the other time. Our armhole is going to be on this side, this open side. Okay, so we're just going to measure the remaining part of the armhole. Remember that we dropped it by 5 inches. So if the armhole is 7.5 inches, for instance, with seam half inch, that's 8 inches. So the armhole is 8 inches. I've already taken 5 inches. So what I have left is 3 inches. From this point where the neck ends, I'm going to measure 3 inches. And just let's cut out. I'm going to cut out the neckline. Make sure that your fabric is not moving, and then from there I'm just going to curve it a bit for the armhole. Okay, so it's something like this. It's going to look like this. Remember, this is your side seam. Now let's cut out the circle. All right, so this is what we'll have when it's cut out. Now this is our side seam, so we're going to join the front and the back together. Remember, you won't need to join if, assuming the fabric was enough and we cut it as a full circle, but we cut it 180 to make the full circle. Now we're going to join the side seam. Thank God that black part is marking it for us where the side seam is. So we'll just join it there. Okay, all right, before we now go to the sewing machine, let me show you how to cut the sleeve. Take note of this part of the fabric. So for my sleeve, I want this part to be on top also, just like I have it on the main fabric. So let's see if I have, okay, from the part that I cut off, I'm going to draft my sleeve. So I'm going to cut the two together. Let's see, I think one should do. So the bicep is around 11 inches. So, and I want it to be full so that I can gather it with the band. So I'm adding like 4 more inches. That's 15 inches. Full but not too full. Okay, so that should be 7.5. Let me do my fabric this way. When I fold it, I should have 7.5 to form my, okay, let me just do 8 inches. 8 inches, so that I have a total of 16 inches. Sorry. Okay, so I have like 9 inches here. Let me use 9 inches. I think it looks better. Okay, so I have 9 inches. Then I'm going to make do of the length I have here. So let's see what I have. Okay, I can do 13 inches, and the band is like 2.5, so that's 15.5. If I have more fabric, I can make it longer so that I can bob it. It can have that kind of blousing effect. But like I always say, I'm cutting my dress according to my fabric. So this is for the two sleeve. Now when we want to draft off shoulder sleeve, you know, it's not the normal way. Okay, actually this is actually longer than this. When we're done, it will be longer than the 3 or 15.5 inches because it's off shoulder, so we'll add the 5 inches to it. So let's just leave it like that. We'll come to this edge. The drop was 5 inches, so I'm supposed to take like 5.5 plus a seam for the off shoulder. I don't want to go into too much detail, so I'll just, the length you measure here will be what you use to come down for your off shoulder. So I used 5 inches there, so I'm supposed to do 5 plus ½ inch, but I want to also gather it a bit also, so I'm going to do, let's see, 7 inches. Okay, then the remaining part of the armhole is 3 inches, right? So we'll do 3 inches here. Then we'll curve it a little. Then here I'm going to just slant it a bit because I want the fullness. If it's not that I want it full, I will just measure the bicep measurement here and slant it, but I want it full, so I'll just do like half or 1 inch. So I have the 8 inches that I was aiming for. Okay. I want to cut out this edge. Okay, so we're going to stitch this one at the hem seam here. So I'll just use like 1/4 inch because I did not add any seam to this part, so I'll just do 1/4 inch. Okay, so let's stitch this and the main fabric, then I'll come and show you how to cut the band, then we'll make progress from there. So when you have joined, this is what we're going to have, and we have the sleeve. So let me show you how to cut the band. For the band, for the sleeve, I want the band to be like 2.5 inches. So I'm going to cut 6 inches of fabric. Then the length will be, okay, this is like 7.5. Let me see if this one is also 7.5. So just determine. Okay, so I'll I'll just trim it. If it's 7, whatever the length you want your band to be, you add 1 inch for seam. So this is like 6 inches by the length, which the length will be the bicep, the original bicep, or wherever it's not going to be the bicep again, where the sleeve will be lying. So it's somewhere around upper elbow. So measure that part. That's like 11 inches. So the length is like 11 inches. I did not add seam allowance because the fabric is stretching and I want to use it to gather it a bit. So as in, I want it to be firm. If you can get a fabric that stretches more than this, it will be better. This is not stretching so much, okay, but that's what I have. So you'll fold it into 2, but before folding, we'll turn it this way, stitch it like this. So let me just, this is the right side. I'm going to stitch. So you can use ½ inch for your seam. Then turn to the right side like this to create a band. This way. So this is going to be the band. Then we'll turn this to the right side also. You can notch the center front so that you can match it up. Then take your band and, you know, this joint area, match it up with the joint area here. Then match the center front here with the one you notched. Then you stretch it so that you know, it's shorter than what you have here. We'll stretch it and to use it to gather the sleeve. We're going to stitch it like that. So that's it for the sleeve. For the band on the neckline, you measure around your shoulder where the off shoulder dress is going to be standing. So it's like 36 inches. So I have my fabric, I've cut like 36 inches by 7 inches, 7 inches wide, so that the band at the neck will be 3 inches. So I have like 30, okay, I have 38 inches here. So I'll cut it to the length that I need, then stitch just like we did for the sleeve. Stitch it, turn it to create your band. Then before you attach this, you must first of all fix your let's turn this to the right side. Then we'll fix the sleeve first. This is actually a simple dress to make, and it doesn't take time. You can make it in less than 30 minutes. Okay, so turn your sleeve to the right side the way you normally attach the sleeve. Match the joint, I mean the underarm area here to the opening that we created here on the side seam. So you're going to, okay, then stitch it like this. So that's how your sleeve is going to be. You can see that the neckline is wide now. So we're going to use our band to pull it together. So let's fix the sleeve, and then maybe I'll show you how to, but it's not different. I don't need to come back and show you that. The thing is just the way we use it to do the band of the sleeve. We're going to use the same way, okay, to do the neckline, and it will go over this sleeve also because it's part of it now. So that's it. It's very simple, it's straightforward, just 360 dress. So let's just finish it and let me show you what it looks like. Next week, like I said, I'm going to show you how to make the belt. Thank you very much for joining us on this week episode of Inspired Moments with Jumoke. And please, I want to beg you this time around, I want you to make yours and share with us on Facebook and on Instagram. On Instagram, mention the inspired design and tag Inspired Moments with Jumoke so that I can get to see it. Just to encourage me to do more videos. If you are not learning anything, if nobody is practicing it, there's no reason why I should keep making these videos every week. All right, see you next week. Bye.